All right, let's talk about something we all wrestle with: motivation. You know, that feeling that just seems to disappear when you need it most? Well, today we're going to look at it in a totally new way. Not as some mysterious force, but as a system inside your brain that you can actually understand and, believe it or not, control.
Yeah, of course you have. We all have. You start something new, you're all fired up, and then a few weeks later, that fire is gone. And you're just staring at this mountain of work ahead thinking, I just don't have it in me. It feels like a personal failing, right? But what if that feeling of giving up isn't a flaw in your character? What if it's just your brain doing math?
And this one idea, it changes the entire game. We're all sitting around waiting for motivation to show up like it's some kind of muse, but the science tells a different story. It's actually a biological negotiation, a predictable process happening inside your head that we can learn to work with instead of against.
So here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we're going to tear down the biggest myth about motivation. Then, we'll dive into the exact calculation your brain is making behind the scenes. After that, the fun part, how to hack that system. And finally, we'll tie it all together with something called the motivation flywheel, a loop that can actually create its own momentum.
Okay, first things first. We have to bust open the motivation myth. This is all about unlearning the bad advice we've been given our whole lives and swapping it out for a model that actually works.
So look at this. On the left is the myth we all live by. Motivation is just this flaky emotion. It's random. You either wake up with it or you don't. But the reality, over on the right, is that it's a calculation. Your brain is constantly running a cost-benefit analysis. It's not a lottery ticket, it's a negotiation. And that means you can actually have a say in the outcome. And really, this is the whole thing right here. That feeling of wanting to quit, it's not you being lazy. It's your brain, which is obsessed with efficiency, quietly running the numbers and deciding, you know what? The energy we're spending here just isn't worth the reward we think we're going to get. It's a completely logical, biological decision. So if it's a calculation, then what are the variables? What's the formula? Well, it pretty much boils down to 3 simple but powerful rules that your brain follows every single time it decides whether to hit the gas or slam on the brakes. Okay, rule number 1, and this is a big one. Progress is fuel. Your brain honestly does not care how much you're sweating or how hard you feel like you're trying. It only cares about one thing. Are we making headway? Are we getting closer? Goals like get fit are motivation poison because your brain can't see the progress bar. And if it can't see progress, it shuts off the energy supply. It's that simple. Now, rule 2, clarity is key. Think about it. How often do you say, I'm just not motivated, when what's really happening is you're not 100% sure what to do next? See, uncertainty is metabolically expensive. It forces your brain to predict and analyze, which burns a ton of calories. So its default setting is just to avoid the task altogether. It's not laziness, it's energy conservation. The clearer the next physical step is, the lower the resistance. And finally, rule number 3, rewards have to be close by. Your brain evolved in a world of immediate cause and effect. A reward that's 5 years away, to your brain's ancient wiring, that's basically a fantasy. It feels uncertain and unreliable. So the system breaks down, and your brain tells you to do something with a much quicker payoff, like, checking your notifications for the 10th time. All right, so we've got the rules of the game. Now for the really cool part, how to rig the game in your favor. This isn't about brute force or willpower. It's about being clever and working with your brain's programming instead of fighting against it. Check this out. Your brain looks at a big task, like write that report, and the perceived effort goes through the roof. Instant resistance. So here's the hack. You shrink the task. Don't commit to writing the report. Commit to opening the document and writing 1 sentence. That's it. A 2-minute start. You make the barrier to entry so ridiculously low, your brain doesn't even see the point in fighting you on it. Here's another way to think about it that is so powerful. That urge to quit, it's just a prediction error. It's a bug in the code. Your brain is taking the discomfort you feel right now, projecting it forward, and assuming it's only going to get worse. But that's just a forecast, and forecasts can be wrong. If you just push a little bit further, you give your brain new data. You prove its initial prediction was wrong, and the system recalibrates. Now, let's get to the ultimate hack. It's all about identity. Listen to this phrase. I'm trying to work out. Hear how flimsy that is? It completely depends on your mood, your energy levels, on that feeling of motivation. If the feeling isn't there, the action doesn't happen. It's built on a foundation of sand. But now, listen to this one. I don't skip workouts. See the difference? That's not about a feeling. It's about a fact. It's about who you are. This statement runs on belief, and belief is way, way more stable than a fleeting emotion. Your brain loves to be consistent. So if you believe you're the kind of person who doesn't skip workouts, your brain will work overtime to make that a reality.
Okay, so this brings us to the grand finale. The thing that ties all of this together, it's called the motivation flywheel. And once you get this thing spinning, it starts to power itself.
So here's how it works. Notice what comes first. Number 1 is a tiny, almost laughably small action. That little action creates number 2, evidence. It's proof. Hey, look, I did a thing. That evidence lets your brain update its prediction from this is impossible to, maybe this is doable. And only then, after all of that, do you get number 4, the dopamine hit that we experience as the feeling of motivation.
This is it. If you remember one thing, make it this. We have the whole equation completely backward. We think we need to feel motivated to take action. But the science is crystal clear. You have to take action first. The action creates the evidence, and the evidence creates the feeling of motivation. Action is the spark, not the result. So, this is your new toolkit. Anytime you're stuck, just run down this checklist. Number 1, how can I make my progress more visible? Number 2, how can I make the very next step dead simple and obvious? And number 3, how can I make starting so easy it's harder not to do it?
So I'll just leave you with this final thought. If motivation isn't something you find, if it isn't something you wait for, but it's something you build brick by brick, what's the first tiny, obvious, effortless brick you're going to lay today?